Hey, ladies.
Hey
Hey.
there.
Hello. Wow, we are back this week with episode 51, The Power of Surrender. I'm looking at Jeanette over there.
Yes,
Jeanette is so excited for this episode.
I
She's like,
am.
"Hey,
I
you are. But our power series continues. And Jeanette is putting something on her forehead. Was that a penny? Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right. So a penny for your thoughts. With the word today. Here's Jeanette.
Linda be on it, let me tell you.
Yeah, you know it. I love it. I love this. But yes, welcome back, our listeners and our heartbeats. Glad to have you here. We're going to talk about the power of surrender. Oh my, and how we had to have surrender this year. And I think about last year, pandemic wise, just with everything in life. And then we're just going to talk about the benefits here. So we're going to focus on that today. And I know this is a surrender, Jeanette, if I'm not mistaken, is your word, right?
Yep,
For 2021.
it
So
is.
do you want
It
to talk about
is.
that a little bit as we dig into this episode?
Do I want to talk about it? Yes, that is my word for the year. First of all, the fact that this year is like almost over, and I'm trying to remember what happened right before that. But for me, and one of the things that I have put on my vision board this year around the word surrender was that was a quote I found that said that surrender isn't about being passive, it's about being open and allowing myself basically the opportunity to do whatever I'm feeling in that moment, right? So whether I want to, you know, express some type of joy and be happy, allowing myself that and surrendering that to that moment, because for some people it is hard to just express that they're happy, like, oh yeah, I'm happy. And then but or also if I'm going through something and I need some space and time to myself, giving myself that space to feel those feelings as well, and just surrendering to what life is bringing to me in that moment and not feeling like I have to be something else and that I'm not allowed to be all of these things, because I am all of these things. So
Yeah.
that is kind of where it kicked off for me.
Yes, and we remember that. Yes, you said, hey, surrender. I'm like, oh, yes. I mean, there's so much comes with that, just around not just saying the word and say, okay, this is going to be my word for the year, but all the things you described around that.
Look, and you better be careful about these words y'all be choosing, because you think that like, oh, I'm just gonna have opportunities to surrender. I'm gonna have opportunities to, act on faith and things like that. No, you're gonna be put into situations that's gonna be like, so what you gonna do? Are you gonna really live out these things that you're saying? So like, even when I choose a word, I'm like, oh, I already know, like, like someone like, oh, my word for the year is patience. I'm just gonna be patient every day. Like, no, you're gonna be tested.
Yes.
And your patience is gonna be strengthened, but it's not gonna just be like, oh, today I'm gonna practice patience. I'm just gonna
Back to those pretty words and pretty affirmations.
Yes.
That we talked about last episode. Yes, exactly. And so, and it's so funny how like our words, and we've mentioned this before, like our words kind of all went together, because I feel like you have to do all the different things to like I don't know, it just matched up well with flow with ease and joy, Lynda's joy word for the year. So yeah, it's been a year, yes, and I've had to surrender a few times.
It has been a year. I think we talked, Shauna was mentioning a couple things before we came on as we were talking about this episode in our words. So just for our listeners out there, the next 3 episodes. So this is Jeanette's word here, the power of surrender, and then the following 2 will be what Shauna and I's words are for the year. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But I wanted Shauna to talk about what she mentioned earlier as we hopped on in terms of surrender and what that means and what some of the milestones this year that you've encountered.
Yes. Serious milestones. We spoke about this in previous episodes, just about the whole packing and unpacking year that I've endured. And I took some time, so I had no choice. So I had to surrender. And I took a lot of time to journal and meditate on that and question, what were the benefits of this? Like, why was this even happening? And so I believe it or not, there are benefits. There are true benefits to surrendering. And one of them was I had to be still,
Mm.
pause and connect with myself. And you learn more about yourself when you have time to pause and connect. So,
But that's why a lot of people don't. Because
you don't want to do
they
it.
don't want it.
Because then
What
you have
comes
to,
up when you're being still, they don't want to hear
Yeah.
that.
there's
Feel
more
that.
work. There's more work.
Yep.
I felt like I was like pushed into this all year long. That was my whole year. My whole year was surrendering. There is silver lining though. There is an abundance of peace that comes with surrendering if you flow with ease and if you execute and choose joy with it. You will reach a peaceful state in which, when everyone knows, when you're feeling at peace, if you've had peaceful moments or you feel at peace with things, you are at a very, you sought clarity. There's clarity for your life, and it makes you feel good, and it makes you feel like you're on purpose. And I mentioned this before, I don't live a life of regrets. So even though it was a whole year of packing and unpacking and, helping fam and doing all the things, I know that I was aligned and assigned for that. And that was my position for this year. So I wanted to share a story that happened to me. And this will be the first time I'm talking about this because I've been processing what was going on. So recently my family came into town and we went horseback riding. And I haven't told you ladies this story because I've been still working on getting through this story. My horse name was Righteous. And right before I got my horse assigned to me, I was on Marco Polo with Lynda and Jeanette and was just so excited. It was like, Righteous, doing all the things. I was so excited because I love that word. I love everything that it represents, and all of the things. Well, Righteous wasn't feeling righteous that day. She was doing everything but being righteous. And if you've ever gone horseback riding, one of the things that they discourage you from doing is allowing your horse to eat along the path because it slows down the process, it stops the process, and then all the other horses will start doing it. So it's like you need to pull them back, and keep it going. And so Righteous she had attitude. She was feeling very spunky. She wanted to do what she wanted to do. And anytime a horse handler came near me, I would say, I don't know about her. She's kind of feeling like, I don't know. As soon as I got on her, the first thing she did was shake. And I said, oh man, what's up with her today? Right. So I'm like, okay, we're going to go through with this. So we go through the path, and I kid you not, one of the horse handlers came up a little too close with their horse to her body. She kicked their horse. She kicked the handler in the hand. She kicked another horse that came anywhere near our vicinity. She was just, and so I'm like, is this normal behavior for her? Like, I'm trying to understand her. Did she eat? Did she, I'm treating this like a baby here. Like, I'm early child. I know I'm the inner child whisperer, but I might be the horse whisperer today. I'm like, because I'm not trying to get bucked off this horse. I need to know where she is. And all of them were like, this is unlike her. This is not her. We don't know what she's going through. So finally, I just took it in as she's having an off day. We all have off days, right? And so I was like, she's having an off day. Right. She's having an off day. And I'm like, she just needs TLC. So I would pet her, tell her she's a great girl. She's doing a good job. And anytime she wanted to eat, y'all, I let her eat. And the handlers were like, pull her up. I'm like, I'm on her back. And I know that if I work with her, she let me know. She let me know some kind of communication. She like, if you hook me up, I'm gonna hook you up. Everybody else I don't want to be bothered with, but I'm gonna take care of you. And that's exactly what what the dog did. I keep saying dog. The horse did, right? Just took care of me all the way through. It was amazing. I was like, all my family came around. You okay? Do you want to get a new horse? And I was like, nope, nope. I think I'm gonna be fine. I surrendered to her. She had an off day and I trusted. I don't know, my intuition just said, just surrender, just trust, and just give her tender loving care and you'll be fine. I went through the whole trail, and at the end, this was an hour-long ride.
Wow.
The handlers pulled me to the side and they were like, I've never seen anybody do that before. Most people would have asked to switch horses, and all of this stuff. And that was very impressive that you worked with her. She was not like that. And I commend you. That was amazing. I never seen anything like that. And I was like, thank you. As I journaled and thought about it, it was like, I've been surrendering all year long. And I know that might be a crazy situation, and scary for a lot of people. And I'm not going to say that I didn't have my anxiety, didn't kick in, but I knew the calmer I was, the more that I allowed her to just get her moments in, I felt that she would take care of me.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about righteous and just thinking about surrendering to that situation, and it turned out to be really, it turned out good. But I was just thinking about the words too, like be careful what you name, what you name. And I'm thinking to myself, they say that about your children, they say that about your animals, and I'm like, her name is righteous, like, and that's all I kept saying, she's not feeling righteous today. And I was like, but you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be good. I
love that name.
So it's just a story I wanted to share.
Awesome.
About that.
Thank you, Shauna, for sharing.
What I heard in that is two things. Was one is sometimes it's okay to let someone else lead, like you don't have to be in control. So a lot of times, like, and we talked about that in the last episode about the lack of like trust in self and in other people. And so like you trusted her that if you allowed her to lead you, that she would take care of you, but then also not forcing it, which is something I feel like I've talked about before, but just in life in general, like sometimes we want something to happen so badly, and it's like, this is not working. You need to move on and let it go, and stop trying to force something to happen, because then something is gonna happen, and it's not gonna be what you want. And that's kind of like what I took away from what you were saying, and just reminded me, one, it's okay to let someone else lead, and you don't have to force everything. Like if it's something isn't working, like let it go, which is a form of surrendering as well.
Yes.
It is. That's a great story, Shauna. I love the name Righteous. I mean, how amazing is that? Yeah.
And I don't, and I'm not endorsing anybody to stay on a horse you don't feel comfortable with. I'm just saying my intuition, intuition was just dead on, and I was right about it. I was the chosen one to be on Righteous that day, because I just don't know, if it wasn't me, I don't know what she would have done with anyone else. Like I had the patience of a saint that day. I was like,
wow. That's amazing. And we touched on, seeking clarity of what surrender means and being still. So sometimes it means being still in the moment. Sometimes it means being still in the emotions, or surprisingly, being still in the situation that you may be in at that time. So I think about that as you were speaking, Shauna. I was listening to your story, but surrendering in that situation, but you were in an active situation with the horse, with your family, everybody's doing horseback riding and all that. But that is an example of surrendering, in that moment of action. I mean, it's like, lights, camera, action almost. It's really very interesting.
And that's what life does to us. It comes to us. I always like to say, my husband and I would always say, the fast and the furious. We use that a lot. Life comes to you, the fast and the furious. And it's like, what are you going to do in the moment?
Yeah.
So
That's true. And also back to Jeanette's point about, forcing it, right? Forcing yourself in situations. It's okay to just be. And my father used to say, if it don't fit, don't force it. He used to say that all the time. So it's something that I've carried with me. And I know, like, of course we go against some, oh, daddy was tripping or whatever. Okay, I'm going to force this situation. And like, oh man, did I hear him in my head? If it don't fit, don't force it. So really, I mean, it speaks to that as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
And I think that's part of why that was my word for this year, just because I've done that in the past, is like beating myself up because something just wasn't happening the way it was, or because I just wanted to continue to do something. We share like our wins. We share our wins we've been trying to do them daily, but I know we still do them every Friday. And one of my wins was this past week was that the internet went out and I had some extra time to rest. Normally I'd have been like,
that was very impressive.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna count this as a win because I couldn't do anything else, right? Like I had to just go with it. And I had to okay, this is what we're gonna do. And even like trying to figure out ways that I can do that even more intentionally in my life, like even with like the kids. So like I pick the kids up from school, and then when Corey comes home, he takes them, then I can go back to like working and doing different things. But there's like this 30-minute gap before he gets home. And in the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna go do this. But then I'm like, I'm gonna be frustrated for those 30 minutes trying to do something when I can just wait for him to come home and get settled. He showers, and then he's like, okay, hand him over to me. So a lot of times I come home and I might just take a nap with the baby, or just sit on the couch and just ask kids how their day was, versus trying to force myself to do something in that time frame that I know I don't have the focus to do, because the kids is hungry as soon as they get home from school. They like, I'm dying, I didn't eat all day. Like, that's a lie. But
my favorite word the other day, Sydney cracked me. I laughed 1,000 times because I used to say that. I'm starving. I was cracking up. And it was every time you said the word food or meal, I'm gonna go get something to eat, food or meals. I'm starving. I was like, oh my goodness, that was me.
That is so funny.
Drive me crazy. But so like there's surrender that you have to. There's times when you have to surrender, and you're forced into it. But what I want to do more is intentionally surrender, where I'm making that a part of my daily practice or whatever, where I don't feel so forced into it, right? Where it's a habit, right? And I know it seems weird to make surrendering a habit, but I would say for your mental well-being, it is important to do that.
It really is.
Beautiful.
It is. And I think we all touched on that this year with having to surrender. I had the best laid plans, right? It's like, and then the universe comes back and they laugh at you. Like just the plans that we had. I had plans for my business. I had goals. I had to put those on pause for almost 2 months. I lost my stepmom earlier this calendar year, and that was very hard. So just all the things that surrounded that. I mean, even I would sit here with Maddie sometimes, and she would be on one computer, I'll be on another. Oh, we're going to do this. Oh, mommy, how about that? This was like in the late March timeframe. We had laid out everything we were going to do. And there was no way I could do those things. And, having to speak with her and Miles about the things that, hey, we got to put this on pause, guys. And they were very, accommodating and agreeable. And because they know mommy goes. But I had to pause things for about 6 or 8 weeks. And it came with a little bit of heartbreak and heartburn at first. But then I kind of started liking it. I'm like, ooh, I'm sinking further into the couch. This is feeling kind of good here. But it was much needed. And at that time, and just knowing I had to do that. But so I think I like the points that you both have made about how our words for the year are very intertwined, and how we've each had to take pieces of each of our words and how much alignment there is in that. So I had to do a little bit of surrender. My word of the year is joy, but the great joy that comes with the certain things that we're doing. And then that flowing because it's like, ooh, I'm about to flow with ease. What you mean I gotta do that? I had to, and it lended itself to do all of those.
Yes.
Yeah. What I heard, Lynda, and what you were saying was that so like the kids were fine. Like sometimes we feel like we have to show up a certain way because everybody else expects it. And we've talked about this, and it might sound like, oh, I'm not listening to the same episode. You're not. You're not listening to the same episode, I promise. But it just reminds me that God, we put these expectations on ourselves that nobody else is putting on us. And it was like, ooh, like the kids like, we good, like we just going with you, like that's what you want to do. We like, okay, that's how mommy roll. That's how we rolling. But if mommy said we gonna sit home and we gonna order Chipotle and watch some Marvel.
There you go. That's right. Ooh, you said my 3 favorite words.
And that's what we gonna do today. Like, so it's been many a times where like I've heard you say like, oh, I said I was gonna do X, Y, Z, and then I told Miles like, oh, I can't do that. We're gonna just do this, and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, oh dang, I was stressed out for nothing.
I know. He's like, okay, I'll go back and do what I was doing. And Maddie too. I mean, she's and it's ebbs and flows with that. Like as of the recording of this episode, she's hanging with her best friend at Six Flags. So maybe there was something because I had to work a couple of weekends recently. So she knew that. So she adjusted accordingly. I was like, oh, I was gonna take her to our favorite restaurant right here at the DMV, but couldn't go because of work and things. But she understood that. And then she's like, Mommy, I get to go to Six Flags. So that was like amazing. So I definitely thank her best friend's mom. And Maddie has been on here and talked about her best friend Jenna in the past and their self-care routines and stuff. So yeah, but she's having a blast. So it's like, wow, okay, it worked out. And sometimes we try to over execute or over plan the outcome. I know I'm personally guilty of that. So I'm relaxing, and Shauna's raising her hand, but yes, I'm starting to relax more, like feet up on the couch. Woohoo! Fall season is back. Jeanette, what are you doing over there?
Y'all remember that from Different World? Relax, wait, release.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You said that perfect. Yes. Yeah. But see, now it's like, we're literally in a different season, fall season. Now I'm back. Of course, work is picked up, but also back to having a little bit more harmony with my TV shows, which I'm sure, I know that's not what this episode is about, but I had to mention that. I'm surrendering to that too and flowing in that space. So it's, you got to have some fun too. And it's about being harmonious in all the areas of your life when it comes to surrendering.
Yes.
Yes. Ooh, all right, ladies, we want to talk about our surprise. Do you want to talk any more about surrender, but do we want to talk about what we have in store for our heartbeats? What they
take a short intermission and do this plug real quick.
yes, short intermission for this plug real quick. Ooh, an announcement. Yes.
So if y'all listened to the last episode, me and Lynda was like, are we gonna talk about this? We might not talk about this. Should we talk about this? We'll talk about it next episode. So we had piloted something over our break, and it's now open. By the time you hear this, we probably would have already announced it, but the Heart of Chat has a new membership group called the Heart of Chat Collective on not on, but for our heartbeats. Look, it's wrong. Look at the camera sometimes when I be talking because y'all are distracted like I'm But
flow with ease, Jeanette. Flow with ease.
I'm letting it go. And it's taking in all y'all joy. But our membership launched and we're excited about it, right? And so do y'all want to talk about some of the things that come with the membership?
Sure. Go ahead, Shauna.
There's a texting community.
Yes.
We also have a Facebook private group for members, and within the group we have different programs. So
we have different
not programs,
creative outlets.
There we go.
Outlets for
one
you all.
is the parenting lounge moved over to the Heart of Chat Collective.
Yes.
So the parenting lounge is a space that I've been managing and operating and created almost 2 years. We're coming up into a 2-year mark. We're at past the 1.5 year mark.
Mm-hmm.
And at the parenting lounge, you may be a parent, you may be raising children, you may be a caregiver, you could be an aunt, anyone that's directly working around with children and would like to come to a space where we believe that we are more than just parents, guardians, grandparents, empty nester, as I am, aunties. This is a space for you. This is a space where we empower one another, where we support each other in our endeavors, what we are doing. And it's a place where you could talk it out, as Jeanette would say. We have a talk it out series in which you just come and just tell us all the things that's driving you nuts about what's happening in your household. And we sit there and we encourage it. Or you two ladies can add to it because you two ladies are in the parenting lounge from the beginning.
Oh, sure. So how often does the parenting lounge, will it run in the membership?
This will run weekly. It will run weekly. It begins October 3rd.
Okay. Yeah. So by the time this episode airs, we would have had at least one, maybe two parenting
from
lounges.
3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's through a Zoom link. So it's virtual, and we have members from all over.
Yeah. I think for me, the parenting lounge is a space to kind of just remind us that we are individuals and that we have to think about make space for ourselves sometimes. And we don't have to do and be all the things for everybody.
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of like what I feel. And hopefully I did your vision of the parenting lounge justice.
Yes. Exactly.
And then Lynda, she has her own meetups that she does that she'll be moving into our new membership. You want to talk about that, Lynda?
Sure. Thank you. Yes. So on October 9th, so it would have been aired or happened right after or before this episode aired. It's called We Write Together Lounge. So you're probably seeing the theme here, Parenting Lounge, We Write Together Lounge. So that'll be kicking off on a quarterly basis where I work with writers, people who are aspiring writers, people that may still have that Post-it note with one word on it, and they want to turn it into a book or series or otherwise. So I'm bringing it into the Heart of Chat Collective. And I piloted this for maybe about a year ago, just to kind of kick it off. I just had like a small set of people that joined just to kind of see if people were interested in it. And as Shauna mentioned in previous episodes, using the pomegranate method. No, y'all, for real. It's called the Pomodoro. It's the Pomodoro Method. I promise. Jeanette is like, you're stressing me out.
I'm gonna mail these chicks both a pomegranate in the mail.
Jeanette, okay, I'm sorry. I'll take it back.
No,
the Pomodoro
I'm gonna send y'all a pomegranate. Y'all better eat it too.
So using the Pomodoro Method, and right now this first one is kind of kind of fluid, but yeah, I'll be offering tips on my book is now published. Now what do I do with it? Kind of marketing, but also for those who haven't quite decided, I think I want to write this book, or maybe I just want to write and journal. So that's what We Write Together is. And we do some exercises, but it does allow for you to be, to speak up about a topic, or maybe be a little bit more free flowing with some of the things that you want to write about. So I'll be offering that on a quarterly basis. So the first one is in October, and probably the next one maybe in the mid-January-ish timeframe. But definitely, we welcome you to join our membership community.
Yeah. And so it's a lot, right? So we're offering, I feel like, a lot of value and like added value onto what we already give within these episodes for free. And we give them because we didn't really come into this like, to make money, right? It was like, this is something that we love to do. We love to share with you all. But there are people that want to connect with us on a different level and to, experience us and be able to ask questions real time and just talk and express how they feel about some of the things that we talk about. And so making this space for our members so that we can continue to offer free content to people that might not be able to join a membership or might not be ready for that at that stage. But by being a part of that, it's going to allow us to continue to provide this content to people. And then in addition to the meetups, the virtual meetups that we have with the Parenting Lounge and We Write Together, we are going to, of course, be giving you some bonus episodes, right? Mm-hmm. And something that's going to dive a little bit deeper into some of the topics that we talk about and to allow you to take just more actionable steps towards like, so, you know, like when you hear stuff like, oh, you know, you listen to different podcasts, like, oh, this sounds good. Yeah. But like, okay, but now what are you going to do with it? Right. Because we can sit there and listen to someone tell us some things all day. And then you just, if you never, like I always say, take action, it's just going to be something that just sounds good and feels good. It's like sitting in church on Sunday morning and being like, oh, I feel great. And I got to go back on Wednesday to get filled back up. But it's like, but what did you really learn? Like, what did you take away? You can't even tell me what just happened. Right. Are you sharing what you learned or heard with a friend that can hold you accountable? Like, I encourage everyone to share if this episode or any episode resonates with you, just share it with a friend so they can listen and be encouraged, and then y'all can work together to hold each other accountable. So it's a lot going on in this membership group. We're excited about it. We're excited about just being able to connect with y'all on a more personal level. Shauna likes to be in front of people. She likes to touch and feel and see people and interact with people. If y'all ever been on one of our lives, she'd be like, I got to talk to every single person that left a comment. Who left a comment? What did she say? I'm like, Shauna. No, we need to talk to them. I'm like, okay, we do. You're right.
Yes.
But yeah, so the membership is going to be $15 a month. You also have an option to pay for the year as well, if that's what you want to do. But yeah. And you can cancel anytime. We're not holding you hostage. So I mean, you know, nobody's gonna force you to do this work. It's on you to make a decision to do that work for yourself. And you know, we just here to support you if you're ready. So
yes.
Come join us.
Yeah, come join us. Yeah, and also other benefits. We have apparel that we have from the Heart of Chat. And Shauna's wearing one of our beautiful Heartbeats t-shirts. Awesome. Superwoman over there.
Oh,
yeah, so yes, for sure. And the mugs, I mean, amazing. We have, you know, benefits around that to get, so our Heartbeats can have a mug, a journal, and everything. I think Shauna has all of our stuff over there. But yes, $15 a month. Consider it an investment in yourself. And if you want the yearly option, we have options to discuss that as well. So yeah, we definitely look forward to having you.
Yes.
Me personally, I love texting. So the text group is like the community text. So some of you are familiar with some of the celebrities out here that have the community text. Is so super cool. It's like I've been wanting to be in there every day texting, but I know Jeanette be like, lady. But that's just me.
They make me sound so bad. Like I'm
no, you're like, not. No, you're not bad. No, you keep us together. No. I'm like, because I'm like a squirrel. I'm like, oh, look, anything shiny, I'm going after it. That's why I have all these things.
Oh my God. Funny story, Lynda, about the squirrel. I'm not going to tell the whole thing because it's not my story to tell, but this one of my facilitators for a program that I run through the nonprofit, we had class and we were talking about like our personalities and who we are. And she was talking about how she was doing something and this squirrel was out in her yard and she was literally on the phone trying to do one thing and chasing the squirrel around the yard. I was like, so you not only did figuratively have a squirrel run by and you got distracted, but you literally had a squirrel run by and you was outside trying to chase this squirrel out your garden or whatever it was doing. I was cracking up. I was like, how often does that happen?
That's accurate. I would be that facilitator in this scenario here.
It was like a squirrel ran by. I was like, yeah. Literally.
Oh my goodness.
But thank y'all for this short brief intro. Damn it, I can't even talk. Intermission. Thank you. I'll bleep out the word, but maybe I won't. You know, it is
like, authenticity. It's growth.
Yeah, this brief intermission while we get back to our regular scheduled program, talking about the power of surrender and how can we do that more intentionally in our lives.
More intentionally.
Yeah.
Paying attention to the cues. I mean, there's always something, there's a precursor before having to surrender. And I know for myself, I recognize it. I just want to ignore it because I want to control it and I'm going to manage it the way I see fit. So I like that, being more intentional with surrendering. So for myself, that's going to be just paying attention to the cues around me because I know what they are. I know what they are.
Yeah.
Yep. Taking on too much is that's my cue, because I see the piles. I can feel the piles just coming up, and then not, feeling guilty about saying, no, I can't do this. So it takes a minute to get there. So I have to surrender to the fact that it's okay to say no to this. Like, I know from being, a publishing consultant for people's books, like, I can't take on 8 editing projects at once, but I can't tell you that I didn't try to do that before. So now I limit myself to 4 to 5 editing projects at one time. It's 5 is like the max, and I have to be mindful of that, because I can't do good work. But then I still got my kids, I got my family, I have my, full-time job, and I have the heart of chat, wanting to be able to give my all in those places. I can't continue to let the piles creep up. I know I'm pretty tall, but I ain't that tall.
And it's I feel like it's just about making your life easier, right? Because when you're trying to force things to happen, it just is a lot harder than it has to be, and it could be a lot more frustrating than it has to be on a daily basis. So, like, when you're thinking about like surrender, like, it can be fun too. It can be surrendering so that you can have some fun in your life. I kind of talked about this at Shauna's workshop when we were working through an activity, and that's what I learned, that the inner child in me was like, girl, you are too serious. I'm out here having fun. You gonna come out here, put your feet in the sand or walk through the grass barefoot? Like, you just always got something to do. You just always gotta have that laptop closed. So walking around with 50 notebooks, let me take all of this with me. Like, why are you carrying this all around? Like, set that down and just go, like, enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? And so that's what I feel like it is too. Like, surrendering it's not about like just giving up everything, right, over to somebody. Like, you have no control over what's happening in your life when you surrender. It's about making life easier for yourself, having some fun, relaxing. Go ahead, Shauna, what you gonna say?
I like what you said. It's not giving up. It's actually giving up to gain what you really need. Sometimes we don't know what we really need.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so it's giving up to gain the most important things that eventually will, if we continue to surrender and we go, through the steps necessary, we will get to a place, again, back to the clarity and the peace of mind and all of the things that we're looking for to gain, to move the needle further in our lives. We will get there a lot quicker. I'm talking to myself, y'all, right now. If I surrender.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. There's so many things I can surrender.
Yeah. Unpacking
control.
That. Yeah.
All the different things. Control is a big one though. That keeps coming back up for me in conversations, and that's one way to try to, when you're trying to figure out like what it is, like what keeps popping back up. What's one thing? What's a reoccurring theme in your life, either that other people point out or say to you, or that pops into your head, or you keep seeing these messages like, oh, why do I keep seeing these messages about that? Because you probably should be paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like that little brief, like, McFly.
Yeah, McFly. Another favorite of mine. See?
Hello, McFly.
Yes.
Yeah. Pay attention. Just surrender will help you do that. Just pay attention to the things that are going on around you, and to realize, like, I don't know. Yeah.
Love it. Great topic, ladies. Yep. Great word of the year. Yes, for sure. And I can see this carrying us through the end of the year, through years to come. So let's we're hoping it resonates with you all as well, Heartbeats, and our listeners. Yeah, we love this topic, and one of our words of the year. Yes, we thank you, Jeanette, for this word.
Thank you.
Wisdom.
I'm glad this was brought to you, and the joy and flowing with ease.
Yeah. All good. And how about connecting with us further? Wow. So just 2 short weeks after this episode airs, we have our live show in Cleveland.
Yes.
Saturday, October 23rd. It's getting
Ooh,
close.
oh my goodness.
And we are super excited.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So lots of, things there to happen. I think we each are planning to be in town a little bit earlier. So we hope to connect with some of you, and we definitely look forward to seeing you at the Cleveland Urban Winery. Yes, super excited about that. More details to follow, but yes, hook up with us on our socials, DM us if you have questions. But yeah, we are really looking forward to our very first live show as the Heart of Chat. So yes and yes. Anything else, ladies, on this surrender topic? Anything else you want to share? Shauna, you want to take us out?
Yes. You can find us at the Heart of Chat on every major platform created on Earth.
Oh Lord, yeah. Hold on.
Wait,
before we close the show.
Thank you, Shauna. Okay,
you tell her that no, you don't have to say all of them.
Yeah.
She really takes it to the.
I know.
The Heart of Chat everywhere on Earth.
Yeah. See, but you said that she didn't have to say it all, Jeanette.
She don't. She don't. But
I'm regretting this.
But the way she said it just taught me.
Jeanette is looking at me like, you're not helping Lynda at all.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Oh, gracias.
Wow. Dang,
go ahead, take us on out everywhere on Earth.
Yes.
See, this is
come back next week and every week, ladies and gentlemen, because it's gonna be fuego, baby. Come back.
Bye, ladies.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.